Well, hello everybody. Here we are. We are here again for episode 3 of Profit Matters. Now, why are we talking about Profit Matters? Why? Because quite simply, it matters. If you are a business owner, you are either a business owner that makes money or you're a business owner that doesn't and feels very stressed. And we want to help transform the letting agency industry and help them to generate more profit. Now, it may surprise you, there's some interesting stats you may like to know, that over in America, the real estate business is actually one of the top 5 industries for profitability. Top 5. That's amazing. Now, Kate here has worked in Canada and Switzerland, all sorts of different places. She knows how to work for letting agencies that charge a lot of money. Now, where are we here in the UK? If you look at all the industries here in the UK, according to the Plimsoll report, we are 97th on the profitability stakes of all the industries. If you could invest in oil or public toilets, apparently there's a lot more profitable than us here in the old letting agency space. So we've got to do something about that. And I'm on a mission to transform the profitability of letting agents here in the UK. In fact, 2 years ago, I set a mission to get letting agency model, the letting agency market, to 50% profitability by 2021. Now we've managed to achieve that. 2021, we've actually had over 4 letting agents actually achieve 50 and 60% profitability. And we've got one of those going to be joining us shortly as well today to share how he's actually done that. So what do we need to do? We need to make more profit. What is the average profit in the UK for letting agents today? Well, according again to the Plimsoll report, the average is 11% profitability, 11%. And apparently the average growth year on year is only 1.7%. Guys, we have got to do better than this. And we are here. We're going to be doing our bit to help you to generate more profit in your letting agency. So if we can get 4 letting agents to 50 and 60%, Kate, do you think we can get more?
Absolutely, of course we can. And I'd urge as many of you watching today or watching this series or joining us on this journey, do you know what your profitability is right now? Because one of the main problems is, and we talked about this in episode 1, is that people just don't know. They just don't know this figure and they're running their business and they just don't know what that is. So of course we can. If people like our next guest on today can do it and countless other agents, then of course you can. I mean, how much of a difference would that make to you in your business to be running at a 50 or 60% profit? I mean, come on, guys.
And guys, it's not demographic. It's not based on where you're located. We have people in London, people on the South Coast, people in South Wales, people in the Midlands, Northeast, all getting 30, 40, 50 and 60% profitability. So it doesn't matter where you're in the UK, it is achievable. First of all, let me know where you are. So just drop in the chat. Where are you based? Where are you listening to us from? I want to know, are you in London? Are you in the Midlands? Are you up in the Northeast? What's the weather like? Where are you? Let me know where you are so we know who we're talking to. Right, okay, so we're going to be talking about how you can squeeze the profit out of your business. And one of the subjects today is about growth, because there's a famous saying in all the business growth specialists chatter, they say, growth sucks cash. Now, it's a real thing. You know, as you're growing your business, you can't just collect all the cash and keep all the profit and make it look really, really profitable. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to invest. So you have to speculate to accumulate. You have to invest back in the business. So there's always quite a period of a couple of years or at least a few months where you're putting money back into that business, investing in order to be able to grow and develop. And that's what we want to talk about, because in letting agencies, actually a lot of things you can do without investing. But with this section here, we're going to be talking about what you can invest in and how you can really help that business to grow. Now, one of the things that we're going to be talking about here is going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about systemization. We're going to be talking about tech. We're going to be talking about optimization. We're going to talk about quite a few little things. But if you look at all of it in one just big headline, basically what we're talking about is, and I like to do this little thing where we go, squeeze the juice. Go on, Kate, do it with me. We're going to squeeze the juice. We're going to squeeze the juice out of your business. And that's what really is going to make that profit. So we've got to get you out of, I'm not saying you are, but you know, the industry as a norm is at 11%. We're going to show you how you can get that more to 50. So Kate, let's talk about marketing first of all. One of the key things with marketing, what do most letting agents just just expect to happen with marketing and with leads? Where do you expect them to come from?
I think this is one of the things, and we're talking about here, sacrificing profit for growth. But one of the things that comes with marketing is that you do have to put something in to get something back. And that's the key thing with marketing. A lot of agents that I speak to say, oh, we're not getting any landlords, we're not growing, we're not developing, we're not doing anything. And you ask them, what marketing are you doing? And you kind of get nothing. The answer, nothing. So I think the key with marketing is you do have to do something, and it isn't necessarily going to be completely free, but it is the best investment that you can have in your business at the moment, is invest in marketing. And you've got to keep up with the times with it. Unfortunately, gone are the days where the phone used to ring and the landlord would be at the end of the phone saying, hi, could you rent my property, please? I mean, I remember that used to happen, and we'd say, oh, could you take a message or give them a call back later? I mean, can you imagine anyone doing that in a branch now? Oh my goodness. So leads are like gold dust now. So you are going to have to invest in doing stuff. So online marketing is key. It doesn't have to be paid ads. It doesn't have to be expensive. Organic traffic and organic growth is just as effective, sometimes more effective, isn't it, Sal, than paying for stuff at the moment?
Yeah,
but you do have to do something. That's the key here.
And that is an investment. That's an investment in time. And remember that our commodity, what we sell, is time, because we're a service industry. So if we're spending time on marketing, we are investing in marketing. And you know what? Some of the best marketing, as Kate says there, is organic marketing. Get yourself out there like this, do a live somewhere, start looking at how you can do blogs, do videos, you can do downloads, you can do affiliate marketing, you can start to reach out to suppliers, affiliates, people that can refer business to you. All of that is really valuable, and in many ways more valuable than spending money on ads, and you will get a great reward from it. But again, it's an investment of time, and it's an investment in focusing on that thing. But as you say, once you do that, we've literally seen letting agencies go from having like 1 or 2 leads a month to having 70, 80, 90, 100 or 200 leads in a month, just by switching on the marketing. So it really is a very, very valuable investment in time. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about in relation to investment is more staff. Now, when I say more staff, what I mean is restructuring of staff. I'm sure you've noticed, as much as we have, the letting agency industry has changed. Now, I don't know if you know this, but so many people now are actually using VAs as staff. They're using outsourced teams. They're actually using tech to replace a lot of staff as well. So many letting agencies can reduce the hired staff. They can increase the outsourced VA staff and increase with tech, or they can maintain the existing level of staff and refocus those staff onto generating leads. Now, this is one of the things I've done in my branch. What I've done in my Wolverhampton branch here is basically we've taken the phone calls out of the branch. They're all being handled by VAs over in the Philippines, automated the viewings, and totally transformed the office. The office is now totally focused on generating leads and converting those leads into valuations. So I know you're not going to believe me. So I'm going to bring another guy on who's done even more than that. And this is our Barry from South Wales. Hello, Barry.
Barry.
Here he is. Thank you so much for joining us here today on our series of Profit Matters, episode 3. And we're talking about how investing can sometimes suck profit, but also can build profit. And you are just those of you that don't know Barry, Barry's from South Wales. He's an absolute legend when it comes to analytics of numbers, spreadsheets, squeezing the juice. Honestly, he has a spreadsheet for a spreadsheet. He has a spreadsheet for everything. He's absolutely phenomenal. So he has squeezed his agency to a phenomenal level. And I hope you won't mind me sharing these figures with you. He generated last year's accounts 53% profitability, and he is set this year to hit 63. So absolutely awesome. Phenomenal. Round of applause for Barry. So you have every right to be here today, Barry. So talk to me about the restructure that you've done and the investment you've made and the change. I know it took a lot of time and thinking and planning and training and all that sort of stuff. What did you do to really sort of make your business more streamlined?
Well, obviously, it all started originally when we started on the Agent Rainmaker program and through the tenant fee ban. So we did a lot for that, restructuring our contracts and everything, making sure that it was fit for purpose. And then obviously the pandemic then struck just not long after the Agent Rainmaker Live in 2019. And then we looked at where can we make efficiencies, where are we losing money. And part of it was carrying on some of the things that we're doing with you originally. It was like making sure that we were charging for everything. Like we actually started charging for doing inspections, renewals, all those sort of things that we weren't charging for before. So that's where we were squeezing even more juice. We then looked at where else are we, where's costing us money? And as we all know, staff is the biggest cost. So it's looking at where can we automate things? Where can we use technology to make things more streamlined and efficient? And one of two of the things that we did was, especially during the pandemic, because we weren't allowed to enter properties, is we do video tours. So we'd have video tours. So since then, and when did we start? Pandemic was March 2020. We have done probably that many physical viewings in the last 18 months.
Wow.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, a lot of people are worried about that. They say, well, don't landlords want you to show tenants around? Don't tenants want to see properties? I mean, how would you respond to that?
We put a property on, and an hour later it's gone. That's my response to that. It is that quick. When sometimes we know it's gone within an hour. Very rarely goes over 24 hours, and that is literally us putting the advert up. People apply for it, and we use the funnel, and we also use what comes through from Zoopla and OneDome, and then we send them a video out. And the application form is all done digitally. Everything's done digitally, so we don't physically see that person. The only caveat I would say for that, if we had a property which you think you maybe need to see that in person, then we would, but only after they've applied and only after they're successful with the application would we then do a viewing. So then we know we're almost guaranteed we're not wasting our time.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's one of those, sorry, Kate, it's one of those things that before Corona, we couldn't have imagined how we could not do 300 viewings a month. And now all of a sudden, with something like this piece of tech, you can now reduce that to 5. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, and you couldn't actually let that house that fast within an hour by doing a physical viewing because you just couldn't get there. It's just crazy.
Exactly. And you'd have people out all afternoon or all morning doing viewings, then following up on that. We just let the technology in the digital world do the work for us.
It's amazing because one of the exercises that we do, and Barry will know because he's been in our rooms and our boot camps, and we've been with us for years, is that we look at a cost per hour rate for staff and for business owners and stuff. And one of the things that we always do is look at the biggest time drain, isn't it, is viewings, because especially if you're in somewhere where the distance and you're in the car and then you're in the property and then you're out and back and forth, you're looking at a sort of 45-minute minimum, aren't you, for a viewing really of a property. So when you work out the cost per hour of this, it was always the biggest block, wasn't it, of time that your staff and you were paying for people to do. And by cutting that out, I mean, just looking at profit there, I mean, that is just huge cost saving, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's been one of the biggest drivers for us getting towards 50% is having that staff members not needed out all the time. As you say, they can be in the office prospecting and driving business that way. So you're more focused on your income generating task instead of, I don't class viewing property as an income generating task because it's not. It's just showing a property.
It's a function.
I'm not in the business of showing properties. We're in the business of renting properties. There's a distinct difference to that.
And I know you've also outsourced some of your tenancy management as well. You've passed that out. You've taken that out of the branch as well, haven't you? Is that right?
Yeah. We have actually 3 VAs. We've got 2 VAs in South Africa. So the time difference is an hour at the moment and 2 hours in the winter. So that's really good for dealing with things. So they deal with all the tenancy manager type stuff like ranging gas safeties. They do all the referencing and all that sort of stuff. And then we have a VA in Philippines who does all our marketing for us, all the digital marketing on Facebook, does all the adverts which go up online. So that's all gone out of the office. We don't deal with that.
Amazing. And do you have like somebody in the office that does the inspections and check-ins, check-outs, or have you outsourced that as well? Who does that?
We do have a tenancy manager in the office, and her primary role is to do inventory, check-ins, check-outs, deposit disputes, and she'll do the odd in-person inspection for maybe somebody who can't use the technology, because we all do have the elderly, the tenants who don't even have a smart, their phone's one of the old Nokias from back in the 80s. That's the type of technology they're used to. So we will do in-person inspection. But again, I think. So
you've outsourced the inspections as well, Barry? Because again, after viewings, I would say that's the second big block of time, isn't it? Taken up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just about to say that what we've done with the inspections, again, we're doing that via a video, via Zoom calls. We use a Zoom platform for that. We literally go, the lady organise it. And what we can do with that, instead of us saying, right, we're going to be at your house sometime between 10 and 4, when we used to do in-person inspections, we can now book a time which suits the tenant. So the tenant is there. they're walking us around with a camera, and we can say, "Oh, can you zoom in on that? Can you show me that?" And if they try to avoid something, you can make them go. And the landlords are loving it because they're actually seeing a video of inside of their property.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of just having a photograph and a little written report, they're actually seeing a video that they'll, you know, physical.
It helps, doesn't it, as well, with renovation work or quoting for maintenance or things like that, because you can give the landlord a real visual representation of what their property looks like. Because a lot of landlords haven't been in for 5-6 years sometimes, doesn't it? So
some landlords I know haven't been in for 10 or 15 years. You all know what I'm talking about, Sally.
Absolutely, yeah. Me, I was talking about me. That's what I was talking about. I went into my property and I imagined it as it was 15 years ago. What's happened here? So yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. So I mean, so basically, this is fascinating. So those guys that are watching, I mean, guys, is this fascinating? By the way, 50% profitability and 60% profit projected this year. I mean, is this fascinating? So think about the traditional letting agency model. You've got 2 legs. You've got an office admin. You've got a lister. You've got a lettings manager. You've got a tenancy manager, tenancy managers, inspections clerk, client account clerk, branch manager. You know, you'd be talking 12 members of staff to manage 500 units. And yet what Barry's managed to do here is completely remove the viewings, almost completely remove the inspections. He's got basically an outsourced team, which I'm guessing is a much cheaper than a UK team with
two for one. So
two for the price of one, so half the price by outsourcing his teams to South Africa. And tech as well. So I mean, if you put all that together, how many staff have you got in your office now, Barry? You just you and one other, is it, or have you got any other people there?
3 of us in the office.
3. So from 12 to 3. I mean, that's just absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? That you can do all of that with just 3 people. It's just amazing. And you think about this. I can remember going to a Gary V book launch a couple of years ago, and I was surrounded by a whole room of techies, and they all live in their bedroom doing techie businesses. And I just thought they were a bunch of kids in T-shirts, but then they stood up and they were running £5 million and £10 million and £15 million organisations. And I was just like, what, in your bedroom? It's really got quite bizarre as to how businesses have evolved and changed in that time. And, you know, from a letting agency point of view, it's very hard to let go what we know, like, and trust and to adopt the new, because it's difficult, that change, Brian. I'm going to come on to that in a minute about the challenges that change, because it is difficult. It is hard to mentally make that change, to let go of the norm, and to probably explain to all involved the changes that you're going through. And I think that sometimes stops us from doing these things. But you've proven that by embracing tech, by looking at different ways, by outsourcing some of the more simpler functions, that you really can turn a letting agency into a 50 and 60% profitable model, which is, let's be honest, 6 times the national average. That's absolutely phenomenal. So tell us about it. I mean, what did you do to go through that process? How did you manage that mentally? What sort of challenges did you have? Was it hard, or did you find it quite easy? What was the challenges there?
It was hard because obviously, a lot of it we did prior to like tenant fee ban, etc. But then obviously pandemic hit, and then we sort of looked at that. And you have the first month when we were in lockdown, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? And then we quickly realized this is an opportunity. It's going to be hard, but it's an opportunity to look at what we're in the business, we're wasting money. And we realized quite quickly also that the pandemic wasn't going to go away in 2 weeks as they promised. So once we realized that, we made some really tough decisions. And obviously looking at tech, and one of the things we did for maintenance is we brought on FixFlow. After I had a long conversation with Tom Sohn, an absolute advocate of FixFlow, and we had a chat, and he taught me through some of the system, and a lot of the automations in there, you could actually tell the system, if this particular property does this, then you can do this. You can either automatically send it to a landlord's, if he's got a service contract, or if the landlord wants to know first, it automatically sends it. So all of this stuff is done before you even see it. And also they've got little things on there where you can report a job, but there might be something there that the tenant could do to fix it themselves, and you have a little report comes through every week, and every week it comes through no less than 5 to 12 jobs have been solved by the system, which I've never even known about.
Wow.
So that's saving you massive amount of money. So you can manage a lot of properties with that. So we took that on board, the video viewings, the video inspections, looking at all those things. And we even got brutal on the Zoopla, Rightmove, Wando. What we realized quite quickly is, we're spending £30,000 a year on these sort of fees, but duplicate leads from Zoopla and Rightmove. So we thought, why are we doing that? So we chopped one. We chopped Rightmove and saved ourselves 16 grand a year.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
And we're still renting properties within the hour to 24 hours.
It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? So would you say that the situation that we had last year with the pandemic really gave you an opportunity to trial something that perhaps you may not, we may not have done it if it hadn't been for the pandemic? You may not have been in that situation, or you may not have been brave enough, but it just gave you that sort of real perfect storm to say, well, let's give it a go and to try it. And in doing so, you've actually created this 50%, 60% profitable model. I mean, that's pretty amazing, really.
Absolutely. It was definitely an opportunity to pivot your business and really look at all the nuts and bolts. And as you say, squeeze the juice. But that was by analysing where your money was going. Because it's all right making hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of turnover. But if you're making no profit, what are you doing it?
Mm.
You mean
One of the things
I'd much rather run a £300,000 company that's making £100,000 profit than a £10 million company that's making 50 grand any day of the week. It's they say that the turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, and it absolutely is. But I think in this industry, we tend to get totally focused on market share. We tend to get focused on numbers of properties under management. We're just not talking about profit. And one of the reasons for doing this series is to start making people think about profit. When I realized the average letting agency was making 10%, that's just horrendous. It's shocking. I mean, Barry, you know better than anyone the levels of liability we take on when we manage properties. Yeah. And I mean, be honest, before all these changes, were you doing stuff for free? Were you doing things that perhaps you
absolutely
do now?
We did so much for free, and now it's like, we won't do anything for free. And and the landlord rings us up and then they're asking for, and they're taking the P. They're just ringing you for advice so they can go back to their own agents. We back them off quite quickly. If anybody wants anything done, like if you want me to fill out your court documents for you, well, there's a charge for that. There's a minimum charge, and then there's a per hour charge thereafter. You just got to look at all these things which you were doing for free. Like inspections we included in, we now charge for. Renewals was included in, we now charge for. Issuing a new like a tenant fine landlord might want a new contract, we'd help them out, but now we charge a setup fee for that now. All these different things. We upped our minimum setup fee. We've upped our minimum management fee now is 11.5% up to the VIP, which is 15. And on the VIP, we now have 132 properties on VIP.
Now, nice. you've brought me into my next topic. Let's give Barry a like, by the way. Let's give him a love. Let's say him well done. I mean, come on. He has got to be one of the first agents in the UK to be hitting the 50 and soon to be the 60% profit margin. We know of 4 that have hit that in 2021. So we are helping agents and we are working with agents. We want to get all letting agents to 50%. But I know that some of the things that Barry has just said has scared the living daylights out of some of the people watching. You're charging for what? So Barry, you tell me, because I keep talking about this and I don't think people listen to me. So you tell me, when you started charging for all these things, did all your landlords run for the hills?
Okay. Do you know how many landlords we lost when we put the fees up?
Go on then. 1.
Well, and there's probably a dozen who were like, oh, that's. And then when we went down the route of saying, well, this is what we do, and this is the liabilities we are protecting you from. So if you want to go and do that yourself, Mr. Landlord, for your 6%, 7%, whatever, you do that. Our minimum fee is 11.5%. And yeah, we do still have a lot of landlords come, oh, well, so-and-so down the road can do it for 8%. Fine, go to them. And it's funny how many come back.
And it's interesting, Barry says he charges for everything. Now, you think of every other company that you deal with, Barry, utility companies, mobile phones, going into a restaurant, McDonald's. I'm sure you don't eat McDonald's, but anywhere that you go, whatever you do, they charge you for everything that you ask for. And yet, as letting agents, we don't. It's weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird that we've got into this place? It's really strange. Do you think it's weird?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, and we were doing it. We were giving everything away for free, and now we are charging for everything. And it's just the norm for us now.
Absolutely phenomenal.
And just to give you kind of an idea, obviously, before lockdown, we were doing a lot of rentals a month. Our rentals went down by 2/3 over the pandemic period, and yet our profit went up.
Tells you something, doesn't it?
Tells you a lot. It went up massively.
Now, Kate, this is one of the things that a lot of people think the answer is more landlords, don't they? But it's not, is it?
Less is not more. And I think people, as you touched on before, are obsessed with market share and, best agent in the town and running their reports and pie charts and this, that, and the other. But why would you be working, 15, 16-hour days for, 3 times the amount of landlords when you're charging very, very little and doing that. And I think, Barry, you know, you think back to before we met and before your journey, I know you were doing that. And it's switching your mindset, isn't it, to becoming that business owner and operating for profit, not just for vanity or for, you know, market share, because there's no point in flogging yourself to death if you're not making money, because otherwise why are you in business?
Well, exactly. And you know, you as you said there, you're pushing yourself to the limit, you're making yourself stressed, and you know, it's not worth it.
Yeah. How do you feel now, Barry? 50% profitability, and you're now trading at 60% this year. How does it feel? How do you feel different?
It's knowing that our business is in a great place, because obviously we're looking to expand and looking to buy other agencies, and maybe merge with some. So we're in a fantastic position now. We've got cash in the bank, which we can go and buy an agency outright if we needed to. You know, we've paid off all like our directors' loans, and that's the company owes the directors nothing. You know, the business is in such a great place now, you know, financially. So it's just, it makes you feel a lot more relaxed, because you know you've got that buffer. Whereas I know there's agents out there really hurting, really hurting, because they've still got all the staff, they're still doing all the old way, and they're bleeding money left, right, and centre.
And that doesn't feel good, does it? It's like that twisty stomach, that how am I going to meet payroll? How am I going to do this? It's just, to get rid of that is that peace of mind, that relaxed. It's lovely to see. Now, just so that you guys know, I want to talk to Barry about this VIP level and how he's getting 17% out of landlords, because I know most of you just went, what? We're going to talk about that in a second. 132 people on the VIP layer paying 17%. That is not bad. Just before we do, I just want to share something with you, that we've got a little event that you may have heard about called Agent Rainmaker Live. It is coming up in about 30 days. Can you believe that? It's here. We are going to be having the weekend of a lifetime. It's going to be 3 days at Heathrow Marriott Hotel London. Barry is going to be sharing his story and his strategies on how he got to 50%. So he's going to be going in depth, but also 3 other agents that have also got to 50 and 60% are going to be sharing their strategies. We want to get this out there, because I want every single letting agent in the UK to be at 50% profitability. That's our goal, Barry, isn't it? We want to get everyone on the same boat, because if our industry gets there, what happens is we all run better businesses. It's a better industry. We can attract better staff. We can get better clients, and everything can be a lot better. So that's where we're aiming at. So guys, if you haven't got your tickets yet, hop over to Agent Maker Live, go and check it out. And we will see you the other side. Go and grab some tickets and come and see Barry and Ben and all of the guys, Heather and Martin, who've done 61.7% precisely. I don't know what the 0.7 is, but it's very important. But all these different profitable levels, they're going to be sharing their models with you. So basically you can copy them and emulate them and do exactly the same in your business. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing 3 days, totally focused on profit, lead generation, and growing your business. Anyway, Barry, tell me, how the hell did you get 132 landlords on your VIP layer to pay more than any other letting agent believes is possible to try?
The key to it was getting the first one, believe it or not.
Is that because then you believed it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and as you know, we redid all our terms of business. We created these new levels, got rid of all the other things you used to do, like rent collection with maintenance, all that. We just had 3 basic ones. It was your tenant farm, which we don't want to do too many of, your essential tenancy management, and then your VIP platinum. And then when the girls went out for the first time with it, and Penny went out and she came back and she's like, "Oh, I got it, VIP platinum, no problem." So then the next person out was then Anna, and she did exactly the same thing, came back. So 2 within the first day. And then after that, it's like, I think we had one recently. Anna went out and came back with a platinum. Beautiful 3-bed house, brand new. They bought it for the daughter. The daughter never lived in it. So we got that on VIP platinum. And
do you think it's a certain type of clients? Do you think it's the way that you're selling it? Do you think it's you? What is it that's making people go and pay 17%, which most people watch and we go, no, it's just not possible. And this guy's in South Wales, by the way, guys. He's not in anywhere posh, so no offense to South Wales, but I'm from Wolverhampton, so how are you doing that? What is it that's making them go for that?
It's about showing them the value of your proposition. Instantly when someone comes in, it's about price. You try and turn that around to value. It's all about the value that you add. So, Mr. Landlord, we're going to do this for you, this for you, this for you. And I mean, we actually had a review today where the landlord said it's been so great that they deal with everything for us, and we hardly ever hear from the tenants or anything like that, because everything is done for us. When you get in reviews like that, it's it's really, really good because it proves that the service that you're offering is doing what you set out to do, which is basically have make the landlord an armchair landlord, that they can give us the property, we will look after it, we'll do everything for them, and they get a check at the end of the month, no hassles. And that's what the VIP Platinum is.
Guy, let's give Barry a love, a like, something, a comment. Just say well done, anything. I mean, do you know any other agent that has 132 landlords on a VIP layer at 17%? I can tell you, a rare breed, Barry. VIP layer is the way to go. Just remember, there's always an element of people that want to turn left on that plane and they want to go to the Savoy Hotel, and they will pay £20 for a cocktail. I know, because I am one of those people.
Yeah.
And they will pay for that additional service. They're the ones that will pay to go past the security lane just to get the other end fast, and look at all the people in the queue and go whizzing past. Exactly. You really have captured that and really made it happen for you in your business. Do you think that you will ever do a platinum level and the next level up? Do you think that's a possibility? Have you thought about that?
Well, I mean, we do call it our VIP Platinum level now. So,
that'd be a diamond then, wouldn't it? That'd be a diamond level.
Diamond level. Yeah, maybe that'd be something to look at. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but again, we don't want to complicate it, because you give people too many choices. So if we're going out there, you can have the essential tenancy management, which means we'll do the bare minimum for you, or you can have the VIP Platinum and we'll do everything for you.
So let me ask you the question then. Go back in time to before you started this growth journey and you became an optimization expert, as you are, Barry. Before this journey, when you were doing everything for free, are you doing less on your VIP service than you were for whatever percentage you were charging before, when you were doing everything before? Are you still doing less on that VIP level, or are you doing more? Just as interesting.
Well, we're probably doing, if I'm honest, is we looked at what we were doing and said, right, well, this is essential, and this is platinum, VIP Platinum, and most of the stuff that we were doing, chucking in for free before, which is like inspections, renewals, all of that sort of stuff, and holding the hand. We're getting charged. We're getting them to pay for what we were doing for free.
And the 17%.
Well, it's 15% plus VAT. So yeah.
It's okay, 15 plus VAT. Absolutely phenomenal. Round of applause for Barry. Yeah.
Amazing, Barry. Yeah, so
it's
good.
Amazing what you can do. I mean, I know as a holiday cottage owner that, I used to pay 25% to holiday cottages to rent out my holiday cottage, and I didn't bat an eyelid at it. And of course, now we all use Airbnb, and it's much cheaper these days. But it just makes you aware of, somebody will pay £600 to go on an aeroplane, and there'll be somebody that's turned left that'll pay £3,000 to be on the same plane to go on the same journey, just because they want to sit somewhere different and have decent food. And if we don't give our clients that choice, then they can't make it. So if you don't offer it, no one will buy it. But if you offer it, as Barry's just shown here, somebody will buy it, and that makes such a massive difference. Kate, I mean, do you go left on the plane if you had a choice? Would you go left?
I wish. If I could, I would. Absolutely. Of course I would. Yeah, for sure. I think it's just, as well, it's a mindset thing, Barry, isn't it? Because if you presume that all your landlords are that one landlord that left you that time, you will never make any of these choices, would you? You'd never make these decisions. You'd never put this in place, and you'd never be at the 50% plus profit, because everyone puts that one person in their head and they think, well, that's what everyone's going to be like. And if you base your whole business structure and decisions on that, you'll never get to this 50% profit and beyond, will you?
Exactly. And you've got to remember, when a person walks through your door as a landlord, you don't know how many properties they've got. You don't know what they want. Don't just assume when they come in they're in dirty jeans and that, because they've been out doing a job. We've got landlords, and you look at them and think, yeah. And they turn out they got half a dozen properties, and nice properties, not crappy ones, really nice properties. But you just got to make sure you offer them your value, the value that you're going to add to them to make their life easy. And that's the key to it. Is about the value. It's not about the cost. It's the value that you add.
Do you have any, just one final question I want to talk to you about, actually. Do you have any additional things that you charge for as well, like additional services? Like, for example, a lot of agents are helping landlords buy properties. They're helping them refurbish properties. They're helping them furnish properties. They're going and buying light bulbs. They're doing all those sort of different things included in their managed service. I mean, do you have services where you do this, where you charge for that now? Is that something else that you do as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like side sells, I call them side sells. Yeah, a bit like the Amazon customers who bought this also bought that. You do that?
Just side hustle, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, if someone wants us to organise that they've had, the washing machine's blown up and they need a new one, but they can't be able to do it themselves, Yeah, I'll charge them for doing that. It's £20 on top.
Yep.
That's our time for doing that, because it's not our job to be doing that, really. Well, it is and it isn't, but let's get paid for doing it. Also, when people are having major refurbs, we'll take a percentage for that, on top of what we normally would, because if we're managing that for them, that's extra time that we need to be charging for. And it's quite clearly stated on our terms of business. If you want to speak to the tenancy manager, well, that's £25 an hour. If you want to speak to the branch manager, that's £50 an hour. If you want to speak to me as a director, that's £250 an hour. So that's in our
terms. I hope you're not charging us for this hour, Barry. I think.
Hold on, let me check how long we've been. Half an hour.
Well, as I said, I was all ready to fly out last week.
Oh, it's coming to Spain. I know we were waiting for you to come along, to be fair. Well, on the beach going, is that Barry? Is that Barry? Oh, you've been absolutely amazing, Barry. I mean, don't forget, it's time to come. If you want to come and have a see, more people that have done what Barry's done. We say we've had over 4 people do what Barry's done and hit that 50 and 60% profitability margin. We will be showcasing that at agentrainmaker.live. They'll be sharing their journey. They'll be sharing their strategies. They'll be sharing their models. And they're all different, guys. They're not all the same. They're all different. We also have a whole range of agents that have increased their business by over 40 and 50% in the last 12 months and more than that, going to be sharing how they've grown their business in the last year, as well as a result of the changes that they've made and the challenges that they've faced. And remember, the average growth of the industry is 1.7%. So 40 and 50% is pretty phenomenal. And if you can also squeeze 50 to 60% of profit out of that, then you're talking serious turkey. So it's really worth coming along to. So Agent Maker Live, you need to be there. It's going to be a phenomenal event. Barry, you're looking forward to coming to Agent Maker Live? I know you've been the last 2 years.
Yeah, definitely be there.
Tell us about the event, what you like about it.
It's getting to mix with all the different agents from around the country. You just don't know what ideas or what little tips you're going to pick up from just having a chat, because you might just chat to someone and go, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? You won't do that by sitting in your little office and just doing what you've always done. You need to get out and meet people and get that information.
What would you say to someone thinking about coming who hasn't been, Barry? Because I know that you've been there the last 2 years. You are Agent Rainmaker of the Year of 2019, which was incredible. What would you say to someone watching now that was thinking about coming?
You can't miss it, because as I just said, you will get information there that will move your business forward. All the stories from the stage, the training from the stage, and the people that you meet around the meeting rooms. We have the breakout rooms and the mastermind room, and then even the dinners. While you're having a coffee, you just don't know where the information is going to come from. And if you're not there, you're not going to get that information. So you'd be a fool to miss it.
And it's different to most events, because usually people don't mix and mingle and don't talk. But it is different, this, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, being part of ARX and Agent Rainmaker Live, met so many people, and we have such a good friendship now. When we see each other at these events, it's just really good to see people, and it's like a big family now.
It's just weird. I mean, I've been on the Arla circuit and various property circuits and spoke all over the country at property events. And it tends to be little cliques, little groups of people not really mixing. But at Agent Maker Live, everybody talks to everybody. And it's really just, we're all in this together and we're all on this mission. So it's a totally different vibe, guys. If you want to come along, come along. We actually have a mastermind on the Friday evening as well, where the speakers, the people sharing their stories, that's the Gazelle growth, the 40 and 50% growth, and the 50 and 60% profit margin people, will be hosting tables on the Friday evening. Barry, you hosting a table for us on the Friday night?
Yes, come along. Last time, and it was really good.
It's awesome. You can go along and sit next to Barry and say, right, tell me about this thing then. I've got my pen ready. What is it I need to know about this? You can interrogate him and all the other speakers for a good 2 hours. We will move you on if you dominate him for 2 hours, I must admit. But, you can go and speak to all the speakers and ask all those burning questions that you have. So it really is an opportunity to hear it from the horse's mouth, rather than, usually events, you just have the speaker and you have to try and figure it out for yourself. Yeah. We actually want you to do it. We want you to implement growth and get to that 50% profitability.
And then obviously there's one more important thing that you've got to remember. We know how to party.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone. Reminds me, Barry, the dinner tickets have nearly sold out. We haven't even had them on sale. We haven't had them on sale. There's people buying tickets from last year and the year before that just know what a party it is, and a dinner and awards ceremony. And of course, we raise money for charity with the silent auction as well. We've only got 25 spaces left at the dinner, so we haven't even started.
So actually, less than that, because since I've been on here, I've sold another 6. So we are literally down to It's ridiculous.
So if you want to be at the dinner, be quick.
I bought my tickets in 2019 then.
It is, isn't
You
it?
did.
That's the problem. Everyone bought the tickets in 19, then they bought them in 20, and now they're almost gone. So it is going to be an absolute storm of an event. So yeah, and boy, are we ready for a party as well after the last couple of years we've had. Cannot wait. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Barry, you have been phenomenal as always. Cannot wait to see you on stage at Agent Maker Live.
We're not worthy, Barry.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Oh, you are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
And we'll see you in 30 days' time.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.